Just got a tweet in at Football Ramble. Why are the Ramble always focusing on England? What about Scotland? This is why! This is why! Because we can't take the emotional destruction of what we witnessed last night. The Euros have started, and it started rather poorly for Scotland, Lukey Moore.
I don't know who that tweeter is, but I would like to address them directly. We want them to do well.
We want to talk about them.
I wanted them to do well.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. I understand you're hurting, but it's not our fault.
It's not my fault. Tony Cruz turned up with a pina colada in his hand with a Hawaiian shirt just rolling around. Going, a lot of freedom in this match.
Listen
got a lot
to
of
Jimmy
room.
Buffett just
Listening to Yacht Rock.
Yeah.
It's great because you know that there's like half the country of Scotland, half the nation of Scotland is in Germany right now, and everyone talks about how great Scotland fans are, and they are. You know, there's so many of them. They're great time, and you think, they're not yobbish or anything like that. And then you watch them on the pitch.
They're doing their yobbery on there.
That's where their bad behaviour is.
That's where they're badly behaved. I mean, you say there's so many Scotland fans there. Apparently, recent reports have updated that number to 150,000 people. That's 4% of the population. How do you get them there?
Yeah, it's an amazing logistical operation.
The UN could learn a lot.
It's mobilising troops.
Yeah,
it's like a 19th century mobilisation of troops across Europe, and Tony Cruz is Napoleon.
Yes, well, Germany recorded the biggest opening match win in men's Euros history. It's also their record men's European Championship win. Germany 5, Scotland 1. It was. We'll go on to talk about the opening ceremony, Luke, but let's just go straight to this match.
I give it a C- because it was a GCSE art project and no mistake.
It was an atrocious start for Scotland.
Yeah.
Even the person with the cup that was overflowing with half fullness would admit that.
Yeah, I think you'd have to be very, very optimistic to find anything that was positive about what happened, other than the fact that Scotland are there, and that's not really enough now. The whole thing started, they started very, very slowly. They looked intimidated. They had no real outlet. I think I read that it was either Shea Adams had 2 touches in total, or Scotland had 2 touches in total in Germany's box. I forget which, but that tells the story whichever way.
Well, he would have kicked off a few times, wouldn't he?
Well, there you go. But he was subbed at half time.
Are you sure it wasn't Ched Evans? Because that's what Wrighty kept calling him.
Did he really?
Oh, no. So unhelpful.
He
said, sorry, I keep saying that.
That's got layers. That's got layers to it. What are you doing? But yeah, I just didn't think they handled the occasion very well. Look, it's one of those ones, isn't it, where it's very difficult for anyone, and I listened to a lot of the coverage afterwards, a lot of the reaction. I listened to some stuff this morning as well. No one knows whether Germany are any good or not.
Yeah, that's what Souness said. I completely agree with him.
I suspect they're pretty good, and I think they would be galvanised by the fact they're the home team, and they've had a bit of a difficult run in recent years. And the idea that they've got good attacking forward players and players who are in amazing form, and they're young and dynamic players like Jamal Musiala, Florian Wirtz. But we know all that, right? They had absolutely no examination, did they, at all? The other end, there was no kind of. It was basically like an attack versus defence training game. And I thought that what I said yesterday was that if you're Scotland, you have to play Germany, and you could choose when to play them. I think you would probably choose the first game, because you got a chance of catching them cold.
I think that's spot on, yeah.
But that was it just proved impossible, didn't it?
Yeah, but you want them to play them first. You don't necessarily need to try and kill one of them. As many players.
I mean, that was
a proper throwback. I don't want to say I enjoyed it, but it was
shitty behaviour from him.
It got worse with every replay.
Do you know what, it's funny. I was making notes on my laptop as I was watching the game, of course, and genuinely, this is what happened. I've left it exactly as it was. This is a note I wrote. And I was writing this note as Ryan Porteous did it. I was writing this note. I thought Scotland are defending passionately, and they're really throwing themselves in. Oh, it couldn't have been more on brand. Because I was thinking at the time, if you're giving them some credit and you want to be optimistic and you want to be fair and balanced, Scotland aren't as good a team as Germany. We know that. Germany are the home team. They're pumped. Fine. If you wanted to find a silver lining, you would say they're really committed. If you looked at Kieran Tierney celebrating not giving away a corner in the first 3 minutes, he was pumped for it. They threw themselves into it. But the downside to even that silver lining is Ryan Porteous can do what some players can do, and that should be made absolutely clear. horrific.
They were a team
Horrific.
that were trying to create an imprint on the game, and you do not do that in your 6-yard box.
Yeah, or on the shin of, okay, good.
And that could have put him out of the tournament. I was very worried about that.
It looked like, the ending of two players' tournaments.
Yeah,
really. You know, Porteous and Gundogan, and thankfully he was able to walk away from it. But
pathetic bit of Porteous. Oh, I'm hurt as well.
Got to do it. AKA what's the Newcastle
Stephen Taylor.
Stephen Taylor.
Yeah.
I did think when they were looking at it on VAR.
Doesn't work with VAR now, does it? You can't get away with it.
No, but like if they were like, you know what, the referee needs to see this. Actually, maybe he doesn't. Just send him off, mate.
Yeah.
I was really surprised because with stuff like that, obviously, because he wasn't, it wasn't a compound fracture, so you don't see the break, and there was no break, of course.
Right, yeah.
But I was surprised they kept showing it because I was wincing like hell.
But the thing that informs the editorial decision is whether it was an injury or not. Right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But interestingly, Dominic Diamond didn't think it was a red.
Right, okay. He's in exile in Canada, isn't he?
He
Dominic
is.
Diamond,
There's no way that's a red, for fuck's sake, is what he said on Twitter. I tried to put together a list.
Is that the one tweet you found?
Well, listen, I tried to put together a list of Scottish famous people that didn't think that was a red card, and it was only Dominic Diamond.
Right,
sadly.
okay. Sure. Well,
maybe I can't think of enough Scottish celebrities, but the ones I could think of either didn't comment on it or were fine with it.
Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to see if my Ouija board's available. See what Connor is saying.
Do you not think that Diamond may have been being silly? Possibly.
I think he might.
A layer of irony there.
I think we've got to be careful what we say, but I suspect, and it's only my personal view and not that of the Ramble, that their drink may have been taken.
Okay.
Potentially.
Okay,
potentially.
right, fine.
But it's an assessment that presumably you don't agree with, Peter. That's a purple card, isn't it?
That's a purple card for you.
It's got to be.
In between, yeah.
It's so... No, in between is an orange. It's past red.
Oh, like arterial blood. Like dark.
A scarlet, yeah.
It's a scarlet card.
Yeah.
I think also, people's hearts in the stadium visibly sank when that red card happened, because it was like, this is just before half-time. That's going to be a penalty.
Yeah.
We're already 2-0 down.
Yeah.
We've got away with one that probably was a penalty before that, but for some reason no one seems to implement the law that says if the challenge continues into the box as a penalty. They overturned that and gave it a free kick. There was disallowed goals all over the shop, and you thought this is going to become a very, very long night for Scotland.
Why can I never remember seeing Kai Havertz score a penalty or take a penalty? What's happening with my brain?
I can't speak to that.
We
told you that beforehand. We're not speaking to that.
Yeah, we shouldn't be going there first day of a major tournament.
I woke up on some waistguard, lads. What has happened to me?
Not again. The stutter that Kai Havertz did was really pushing the limit as well.
Yeah. I suppose
Send him
he kind
off.
of continues forward, and like it's one of those things where I feel like the players are taking some of it back, aren't they? Because they really clamped down on that kind of stuff a few years ago. But I kind of looked at the starting lineup for Scotland, and as soon as I saw McGinn kind of stationed out wide, I thought, absolutely missing a trick here.
Big gamble.
Because you need ball players who are efficient in the middle, because you're not going to see much of it, and when you get it, they're going to be onto you. Andrick was everywhere, wasn't he? Whenever Scotland had a an ounce or like a metre squared of space, he was just like shouldering them off the ball, or
they had
one of those tactical fouls.
They had absolutely no outlet and no time whatsoever.
There's no pace in that team whatsoever.
But did you not?
Goals have been a struggle for a while, though, haven't they?
They've been struggling generally for a while since they qualified, really. But did you not think that? I mean, maybe I'm being too simplistic, but. You say that McGinn, plays up wide or whatever. They did have like a 5 and a 4, and they tried to make it narrow when Germany had the ball, but they just couldn't do it. And I wondered why. And maybe I'm being too simplistic. And maybe Tony Kroos is really that good, and the experience he's got, and the technique and the positioning, he's just better than everyone else. And if that's the case, then fair enough, because I think he's a magnificent player. But I look at Tony Kroos, and I don't think you're more energetic and fitter and better athletically at your age than John McGinn and Scott McTominay.
Yeah.
So why doesn't Steve Clarke just say to them, we're getting absolutely destroyed? Like this is the from the outside looking in, and I want Scotland to do well. I genuinely do. But from the outside looking in, that is as one side of the game as I've seen in the Euros that I can remember, right?
Yeah.
So why doesn't Steve Clarke presumably just say to McTominay or to McGinn, we're getting nothing anywhere. We're going nowhere. Just sit on him.
Yeah.
Just don't go anywhere. Just sit on him.
But I think, I just think that's impossible, because someone like Musiala, for example, is just basically having a free role. I don't understand how Musiala gets so much space and drags people so many different ways, and yet also seems quite diligent off the ball.
He's a really, really clever player. He's a really hard-working player. He's super quick, and his feet are amazing.
Yeah,
and I wonder with Kroos whether it's just that because something feels wrong when you look at all the half-time stats that were going around on Twitter. Toni Kroos 55 completed out of 55 passes,
and one of them he slipped famously, and it was a good pass.
Is it not just dereliction of duty that a player can have that much time?
Because my point about Musiala there was there's so many players who create that space for Kroos. Like, I think the important thing to remember with Kroos is he doesn't station in a specific part of the pitch. He just goes where other people have created space. And if you've got Wirtz and if you've got Musiala and even Havertz, the way he drops off, there are just pockets that Kroos just wanders into.
Yeah, I mean, much was made of his 99% pass completion rate against Scotland, the highest ever recorded since 1980 by any player attempting 100 or more passes in a Euros match. I mean, pass completion usually means nothing, and I remember De Bruyne sort of basically said, I've got good pass completion, but most of them are like sideways and backwards, so what are you going to do? It doesn't really matter. But except for this one, I think it was really important how many passes he managed to get off. And they were real Hollywood Gerrard-esque rakers, a lot of them as well, which could be cut out if the team were a bit up and at it.
I just feel like, look, Toni Kroos is a good player.
It's his final tournament as well.
Yeah, I know. And he's maybe if it carries on the way it's going to be a coronation or whatever. He's going to win the Champions League, going to win the... Whatever, we don't know. But my counterpoint to what Vish is saying is that I don't necessarily disagree with it, but what I do think is that there has been teams, worse than Scotland that have frustrated teams like Germany for a lot longer than that. And maybe it's the occasion, maybe Scott. Because I mean, I'll tell you what was interesting actually was that if you looked at this Sky Sports news coverage of the game, which I watched afterwards just to see what it was like. Because they obviously they can't show the game because it's on terrestrial. It was Chris Boyd doing the Soccer Saturday type vibe.
Yeah.
He was furious. Absolutely furious with the way that Scotland executed. He genuinely, he was like, as in, it wasn't like, oh, Germany are brilliant, what can you do? He was saying that, but he was also saying, we've frozen. We've absolutely frozen. And we cannot keep going to tournaments and freezing. It happened last time, it's happening again. And there was an element where he was going, there's no excuse for that. And I think Roy Keane, people roll their eyes at Roy Keane. I understand why he's there. I understand the role he plays. I like him because I think he's good on TV and he's full of charisma. He was kind of the same, and the reason he was the same is not because he's not even Scottish. He was like, well, I just don't see what the excuse is for this. You're channeling your energies in the completely wrong way. You're overwhelmed by the occasion, and when you do show some aggression, it's so fucking brain dead that someone gets sent off, and it makes the whole thing worse. Admittedly, it's a bit rich from Roy Keane at a tournament, but he's there to do a job, right?
Yeah.
I just found it a little bit strange. It started off badly. From the first minute, never mind they scored after 10, from the first minute, you were thinking, have you ever watched a football match before? You were thinking, I'm not sure about this.
Yeah. It was a long first 10 minutes, wasn't it? It was like, well, that's a nightmare. That is a nightmare.
Maybe the opening ceremony just annoyed him.
So what happened in the opening ceremony? I was out buying KFC, I must admit.
Can you remember any of your GCSE drama lessons?
I didn't do GCSE drama, so no.
No, I didn't either. No. I'm trying to think what would be... did you ever, do you remember, do you ever do parachute things at nursery?
It was like
parachute
that.
Things at nursery.
Yeah. You waved the ribbons and stuff.
That kind of
it was
stuff,
a bit of that.
Yeah, bit of that.
People dressed in different colours. Yeah. No discernible narrative. No Pitbull.
Right.
Yeah. No Childish Gambino.
Any global acts at all that we'd sort of be familiar with?
Yeah, that was what I was. There was a woman in green. For a second, I thought they went a bit Celtic, and then you saw someone in blue, so they balanced it out. That was good.
Yeah, it's important. No one came up the floor. I thought, this is going to be fine if Pitbull comes up the floor.
Yeah,
and then goes.
Maybe he was a botch. Maybe he was caught in a capsule underneath the pitch.
I couldn't get out.
Oh, like in the Prestige. Maybe
like in the Prestige. Yeah.
Maybe he's fallen in.
I think Christopher Nolan directed that opening ceremony. You're right. I think it was just some really clever stuff that we just.
You need to watch it again. You need to watch it 5 times in the cinema, ideally.
I just feel on 70mm print.
Yeah.
I just feel like if you are going to do an opening ceremony, and it seems to be de rigueur, you have to do it. it feels a bit apologetic to have a load of kids running around with ribbons in different colours, and it starts 15 minutes before the game kicks off. Like, I mean, at least with the Champions League final, Big Leonard's involved,
yeah,
and he gets to get his teeth into it a little bit. You know, at least with the Super Bowl half-time show, they elongate the half-time.
It's austerity opening ceremony, isn't it?
Maybe
really?
it was.
We're in a recession.
Maybe it's been sensitive to the cost of living crisis.
I'm trying to think of who are current, like, famous German artists.
Ooh, that's a good point.
It's a difficult question.
There you go.
Rammstein are embroiled in a bit of controversy, I believe. But yeah, that's about it, really. A man wearing a Germany shirt and a kilt had his kilt lifted up on live German television. That was something that happened, I think, during the day before the match. Everyone was very excited. Penis was seen.
A penis has already been seen.
A penis has already been seen. So
does that count?
We don't need to do that anymore. I mean, with the Scottish, you are bound to see a penis because they all wear their
But Vish's question is a pertinent one, Peter.
Right.
I mean,
does it count?
Yeah, because it
has a tolerant penis.
Because we always want the penis to be seen, a penis to be seen. The first game hadn't kicked off.
Yes.
When do you declare the official thing open?
Okay, so it needs to be. So it can be outside of the stadium. It can be off the book.
It's a prologue
off
penis.
The clock.
Would it have counted if Lenny Kravitz had done the opening ceremony and then his old chap had come out
like it did before?
Yeah. Would that have counted? Because it would have been before kickoff, wouldn't it?
I think it's the moment the lights go out for the opening ceremony, it starts.
Right.
It started. It's officially started.
Yeah.
But then some people would say there was an event the night before. Which official opening of it, I guess.
Right.
But you know, sometimes in the Olympics...
Do not show your official openings.
No. Sometimes in the Olympics, they have a couple of events before the opening ceremony, don't they?
Oh,
do they? What do they do?
The
rubbish ones.
The cricket, normally.
The cricket?
Is it the cricket?
No. Football.
Football, maybe.
Football's the one that...
Is cricket in it?
Cricket's going to be in California in the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, why have they sort of dodged it so far, the old cricketers?
Because not many people play it.
That's
why, yeah.
Okay, right. It's like the World Series.
But we are the Olympic holders, by the way. Oh. GB. Yeah. Well, England. We beat France in 1901 or something.
Tough one. Yeah. Peter, I know you were disappointed with Scotland last night. Is there enough for you still to be positive, Peter, like you were yesterday?
I'll give them one more match.
Okay.
I'll give them one match, and if they turn up like that again,
They get two more.
Yeah.
They get two
but
more.
Not from me.
You're not going to acknowledge the third one.
No, I'm not going to acknowledge the third one. If you're going to do that again, that's absolute rubbish.
You're wearing a Newcastle United t-shirt right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I was in a rush, to be honest.
It's your petroleum Peter in a way.
Petroleum Peter, definitely.
You're not going to comment on my t-shirt, Vish?
Yeah,
did you get that from Aldi?
Company man, that you're wearing an official UEFA branded Euro 2024 t-shirt.
Michelle Platini gave me it. Just into it. I'm just into it.
Usually you want brown envelopes from those kind of people.
You're too cool. You're too cool to wear it, are you?
No, I'd wear it. It's a nice shirt.
Thanks, man.
Well, look, I mean, the best thing about the match yesterday was Ali McCoist. It generally is, isn't it? Whenever he's on the television, you get to enjoy him.
Are we in danger of squeezing a bit too much from Ali McCoist?
Getting Pete McCoist.
Yeah,
right.
Because I love him. He's brilliant, but I feel like because this is the way of the world now, more people are going to fall in love with him, and thus people are going to hate him because people like him.
Right,
and it's going to become cool to hate him.
But there's nothing to hate, is there?
Well, exactly. This one.
Not even Celtic fans hate him, do they?
No, I think he's big fans of his, aren't they?
Even a string of ex-wives. I don't know whether he's got a string of ex-wives. Give it a Google. But he
normally Google first.
He has been seen. He has been seen watching AC/DC in Germany this week, and I will point out that Scotland's last group game is on the 23rd. Megadeth and Bruce Dickinson are playing the next day, so he's going to miss out on those, isn't he? Jurgen Klopp returned to Anfield to see Taylor Swift. If we're talking about big opening ceremony acts, why wasn't Swiftie there doing her bits?
Yeah, it's beneath her, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's kind of beneath her, isn't it? She's at the level now. She's not going to go anywhere near that, is she?
Yeah.
There's very few artists out there that are going to completely blow UEFA's budget.
What I like about Klopp going to watch Taylor Swift play in Liverpool. He was complaining not that long ago that he spent no time in Liverpool town centre. He's mainly just been going to the training ground and the stadium, Anfield. He's done it again. He's just gone to the Anfield.
He's not even the cultural events.
Go to the Cavern Club. Yeah. Crying out loud.
Go to the Baltic Triangle.
Yeah.
He's not being airdropped into Anfield, is he, for this Taylor Swift gig?
Well, you say that.
Maybe he's opening for her.
Well, you say that. Have you seen
That's already happened, isn't it?
Have you seen the photo?
He's wearing a Madonna-style Stetson. No, cowboy
good.
hat.
Madonna-style cowboy hat on his Instagram with the thing, I guess I am officially a Swiftie.
Yeah. It's a real Instagram by numbers, isn't it?
Yeah, and his wife very much looks.
She looks like a singer of like a LA rock band.
She looks like she was one of the Go-Go's or the Bangles or something like that.
Or a band called The Pretty and the Deadly or something. Yeah. I think that might actually be a band.
The Quick and the Dead. Yeah.
All right, then. That's enough of Scotland, and I think Scotland have had enough of Scotland.
They've got away quite lightly there.
They
were really poor.
Lightly. They were really poor. And they can't play that poorly again.
Some people may, in their Ramble Euro 2024 prediction sheets, I have to go through all of them because they send them in on socials, our listeners. Some people might have gone Scotland as dark horses.
Yeah, okay.
They might be nervous now because I think we might find that Hungary and Switzerland are both actually quite decent.
I think I've forgotten to put mine in. I forgot.
Is that a reminder?
I think that was a little reminder that so I can't.
A little tip for you.
Dark horse is Germany.
Don't pick Scotland.
Yeah.
Top scorer.
Yeah.
Anyone from the German side.
Because Hungary and Switzerland are playing today, aren't they? And
I'll get him in before that.
Can I just say before we move on from this, Luke, in the WhatsApp group yesterday, you regarded this as a statement win for Germany.
Yeah, it's a marker for sure.
Is it though? I was thinking about this. They were always going to beat Scotland. They're always likely to finish top of their group. It was maybe just the feeling around Germany with regards to the national team that I thought, there's not that much faith in it. I suppose from their perspective, you have a night like that, and obviously you're going to be buzzing. And it's a lot of energy to take forward, but. They weren't really challenged. I
think it's the manner of it.
Yeah,
I think the manner of it, the intensity of it, the
swagger of it.
Yeah, kind of the statement of intent. Like, it wasn't like they passed the ball around 100 times and didn't go anywhere, and then Florian Wirtz smashed one in from miles out or whatever. It was like there were lots of different types of goals. They should have beauty. They should have scored more. One was marginally disallowed.
Yeah,
they probably, in my view, should have had another penalty. It could have been any score really, and that's fine because Scotland were bad, but. There's a lot of pressure on them, and that's now a load of that's now been relieved. It will go back on them again if they stumble to a draw against Hungary or whatever. But for now, I just think the manner of it, not the result itself, but the manner of it, I think was quite indicative actually.
Yeah, and I suppose with the people coming off the bench and getting their goals as well, that Emre Can's one as well.
Yeah,
like everyone ate. If that makes sense. Everyone got a piece of the pie.
Yeah. Everyone got a taste, mate. Yeah. Didn't they?
All right, well,
it was a proper Scottish buffet.
It certainly was.
Everyone got some lawn sausage.
Clarkey was angry after the final whistle, wasn't he? Somebody asked whether he was having a bit of a set to with his second in command, and he said, I'd forgotten. I didn't even notice it. Are you joking?
A lot of these managers, they don't like answering the questions, do they?
They don't like answering direct questions about things people have seen.
It's mad to me because I love answering questions about myself.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the most enjoyable things of life.
Look, do you want to review the last 5 minutes of the Ramble that you were involved in?
Yeah, I don't remember it.
Good point. Well,
that's a serious question.
Elsewhere in Group A, Hungary play Switzerland at 2 p.m. today, and I will be getting my predictions in before that.
Yeah. That is ridiculous. You've got to do it.
Gets away with murder.
I know.
Did not get away with murder.
If he makes a fuck up on the show, everyone's always, Pete's funny, isn't it? Everyone else makes a fuck up. You get Miss Merry Hell.
So what you're saying is I've got a chance.
Yeah, you've got a better chance than us because we play by the rules.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pete's totaled his car again.
Yeah.
Well, you've got wee guys there, he's never seen this before. He was never born with his hand. Never born.
What are you going to say, sorry? You Germany! Apologies for that language.
It's a bit Jordan, isn't it, on the telly? What did he say?
If you go into a pub and you interview a man and he has taken his son to the pub for a tournament.
Could have been Scottish Hasbulla.
It could have. Could have.
He's actually 30.
I'm just saying, in a live broadcast, we've all done our fair share. Yeah. It's a low percentage play, isn't it? It's a low percentage play. Yeah. But anyway, welcome back to the Football Ramble, as Pete says. It's now time for the first of a brand new segment you'll hear across the Euros on the Football Ramble with our partners at Betfred. Did you know, chaps, that Betfred began from a bet on the last time England won a tournament, which, of course, we don't like to mention it, was 1966. There's not been one in the interim period that you've missed.
No.
It was 1966. That's right. Fred and Peter Doan had a bet on England to win in 66 and used the winnings to start what we now know as Betfred, which I thought was quite a nice story. So we're delighted to have them on board for what should be a cracking summer of football. Every week we'll be building our own Ramble bet builder ahead of either an England or a Scotland game, because with Betfred, if you build a bet on any England and Scotland games this summer and it loses, they'll give you your money back as a free bet. It's an offer available on every single single England and Scotland game throughout the entire Euros. So today we're going to build one ahead of England's opening game of the tournament, which is, of course, against Serbia tomorrow. I'm quite nervous about it. I'm also very excited. It should be a cracker. Peter, get us up and running. What's your selection?
I think it's going to be KG, Luke.
I can see that.
The referee was last seen crying in the Champions League.
Was he?
So I think
That's great intel.
It was his last Champions League match, and at the final whistle, I think PSG against someone, and he had a little cry.
You shouldn't be crying. Do your job, man. You're supposed to be in charge.
Yeah, at least celebrate with the winning team afterwards.
Exactly.
I just think the team are going to keep it nice and easy for him, and I'm going to go for under 1.5 first half goals.
Right. Okay. So I can see. I know what you mean. I think off the back of the Germany game, where they just blitzed it and it was very comfortable for them. I think it's quite hard. I agree with you. I think it's quite hard to argue that will be the same thing against a team like Serbia.
I can't see it being goalless, but I can also. I don't think
there'll be a goal in the first half.
I think there'll be a goal in the first
But you got for under 1.5 first half goals. All right. Jim is up second, and we've got him to choose a bet as well.
Hello, Jim here. I'm going to go for Harry Kane to score at any time against Serbia because I think that Harry Kane is capable of scoring against Serbia at any time.
It's simple. He sounds like he's in the cupboard. He sounds like he's going to wake up his girlfriend. He's whispering it, but he makes a very, very strong point. Fair enough from Jim. Harry Kane to score any time, I think, is the guy
solid.
Doesn't let us down, does he? Vish.
So I am going to go with over 3.5 cards. Now, part of this I'm basing on the fact that England are actually quite a mouthy team.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I anticipated like a little bit of back and forth. I think there'll be a couple of yellows for
the ref's emotional.
Ref is emotional. We do know that.
The ref might well be in tears.
I'll tell you what, who are also emotional. Mitro.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, he'll be pumped.
He will be so up for it. It's untrue.
He could make what Ryan Porteous did look like tickling someone with a feather duster, couldn't he?
Yeah. We just don't know.
We hope not. But it's worth pointing out actually that the game. We've only got a sample size of one, but the game last night did have 4 cards in it, 3 yellows and a red. So that would have come in on that game last night.
Yeah.
If that's the order of things to come. I think that's a fairly decent shout.
And if it was more of an equal contest, there would have been more from the German side, wouldn't there? But they just didn't need to do it.
Quite. And also, Vish, there's a new rule in place, isn't there, that if you try to approach the referee and you're not the captain, it's a yellow card.
Yes,
And no one did that last night, I don't think, but it's quite easy to see some people falling foul of that.
Yeah.
There were a couple of incidents yesterday where the referee and even some players on their own team stopped other players from getting cautioned for exactly that.
Right.
And you also got to remember this referee that Pete's already mentioned here, Daniele Ossato. He's retiring at the end of the tournament. He's a very experienced referee. He took charge of the Argentina-Croatia semi-final at the 2022 World Cup. Luka Modric labelled him a disaster. So anything could happen.
Do you reckon that's why Ryan Porteous got sent off? Because in his mind he was like, right, as long as I don't approach the referee, I'm fine. Yeah. Do whatever I want. So over 3.5 cards for you. So 4 or more cards in the game for either team.
Yeah.
Okay, so my pick is I'm just going to keep it nice and simple to start off at the right foot. I think, I said it, Pete said it'll be cagey. I think it will be actually relatively tough. But I do think England will win. So I've gone just straight England to win. So presumably you both think England will win as well.
Yeah. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, we got a good chance here.
Yeah, good. Okay, right. So in summary, under 1.5 first half goals, Harry Kane to score at any time, over 3.5 cards in the game, and England to win. A £10 bet on that bet builder with Betfred returns £80. And if we win, as ever, all that money will go to Prostate Cancer UK. Minimum 4 selections on any England and Scotland match at odds of 3-1 or more. 100% of your stake back and free bets on your first losing bet builder bet on any England or Scotland game. 18 plus. T's and C's apply. For more information on that, head to begambleaware.org.
Fantastic. Well, elsewhere in the tournament, the time travellers are back. Lukey Moore. Apparently, the time traveller on TikTok's got involved.
Famously, they can come back at any time.
They can.
Because they're time travellers. Yeah. They can do whatever they want.
They've said that England will win the Euros. There's a lot of clairvoyancy. There's a lot of time travelling going on. Is this the most mystical tournament in history, or are we just looking for order in the world?
Clairvoyancy has become really popular on TikTok, apparently, and I quite like that because it's like, so you guys are now like Gen Z or whatever you are, whatever the new generation is. What are you going to do with all this newfound technology? Probably do the stuff we've been doing for 100 years on a different platform.
Mystic Meg is dead. Let's make a new one.
Making shit up about predicting the future.
Yeah. Good point, actually.
But the time travellers, one of the things about them is that this TikTok user you're talking about is Football Time Traveller 2. He's using these hitherto unknown skills to just make quite vague predictions about football.
Yeah.
That's what you would do if you're a time traveller, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than, like, for example, if you were like properly someone who can speak to the dead, like one of these psychics, right? First thing you should be asking, in my view, is what's it like to be dead?
Yeah.
Because everyone can know.
Right.
I don't care about the painting of a dog that was in the corridor of the house from 30 years ago that they're saying it's got a sign for you.
Let us know what's on the telly now.
Where are you? You should use them as a TV guide.
Yeah. What's on the telly next week?
You've got one question you could ask a time traveller. What happens in season 4 of Slow Horses?
Well, that's right. Yeah, the ghosts are having a little meeting. And like, my one's, my person that I'm haunting is really good. But I mean, and someone else sort of says, well, they just using me as a TV guide. Like, in the future.
What would you do if you had a ghost in the house?
I don't know. I'd tell them to shut their mouth. Don't tell them what I've been up to.
Keep quiet.
Right, everyone, thanks for coming over. Whatever the ghost says, they're a liar.
Absolute big lily liar. They are. Well, we heard about Phil Foden visiting one of the many psychics out there yesterday. Well, Gareth Southgate was spotted wearing an Oura ring, which sounds like one of those mood rings you used to get in the 90s that told you if you're horny or whatever.
Oh, yeah, like it changed colour, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I brought in like one of those folding fish. Maybe we should get some of those for the tournament.
Oh, a folding fish that predicts stuff?
Yeah, a little plastic red fish.
It curls up. It curls up, doesn't it?
From the warmth in your hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the Oura ring...
From Magic.
Sorry, from Magic. Yeah.
The Oura ring is just a smartwatch, but a ring, right?
It is, yeah.
It's not, I don't think it's
really
anything
magical.
There's nothing like kind of
It's
weird.
not a sex thing.
I don't think it's a sex thing, no. Depends where you put it, I guess.
Hasn't Rory Stewart got one, I believe?
Are
they handing these out to famous people in the media?
Almost certainly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Unless they're in a pact. Maybe they're saving themselves for each other. Rory Stewart and Southgate.
I could see them together.
Yeah?
Yeah, I could. I think that's a very thoughtful couple.
Yeah.
Very angular couple.
Very angular.
Very angular.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we used to get sent those football boots with the chips in by Nike?
Adidas, my coach.
Was it Adidas?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and they don't pay for that mention, so we'll leave it.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I've got to buy my football boots off DHgate these days.
Is it fair
Who
to...
are excellent, by the way.
I think Gareth Southgate wearing a wellness tracker, which is basically like a smartwatch as a ring, as I've said, being put in the same sentence by you as Phil Foden visiting a 26-year-old psychic in like Stevenage is a bit unfair.
Well, look, the running order takes me where it wants to take me.
It does.
Has it got a microphone in it? Could it be hacked?
Could be, possibly.
Ooh.
Could it be hijacked? Could they know, like Gareth Southgate getting really angry in training and his heart rate goes up and up and up and he gets hot? The Serbians might know that there's problems in the camp.
He's working really hard.
Or he's working really hard.
Yeah. I don't understand what the advantage is.
Or having sex with his partner, Rory Stewart.
Yeah. Especially if it was a certain time of day as well. He's like, he's definitely doing it.
Wives and girlfriends and Rory Stewart.
Yeah. We should probably say there's nothing that we know of.
Nothing going on. There's nothing going on.
Both wearing the same pair of wearable tech.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of, just football admin in general, Ian Maatsen was a late call up to the Netherlands squad due to injury. He had to travel straight from his holiday, I think he was on a yacht or something, to join the squad. And his dad had to actually drive 6 hours to the team hotel to deliver his boots and some other personal items. That is like dad driving you to the airport at 3 a.m, isn't it, to catch your Ryanair?
Yeah, or like dad, driving into school to drop off your stuff because you've forgotten it.
Yes.
Like if he's forgotten like your PE kit or something, which I suppose he has in a way. I think this is a really good move. Obviously, they've happened upon it here, but he's been excellent for Dortmund he was excellent for Dortmund the last half of the season. They're obviously trying to get him again. He's very industrious. He's very creative from like left back, left wing back as well.
Now he's got his shoes.
Especially now he's got his boots and his kit and stuff. And obviously he's well relaxed because he was on a boat. Do you reckon in Batman, one of the Bale Batmans, where he goes on the mission where he gets picked up by a riverboat and he jumps into the ocean from a boat, having chucked his bag off. I wonder if Maatsen did it like that.
There's a nice bit of drama to it.
Yeah,
and I think he was on a yacht off the coast of Mykonos.
Come on, we got wake up!
But he was on holiday because he was so disappointed apparently about not making the squad, and then obviously he gets this great news. I do feel a bit sorry for his girlfriend. He was just not enjoying a holiday.
Yeah, that's true,
the story in the Daily Mail seems to intimate that she's just there on the yacht still.
Oh,
yeah.
This is
like Huel at the end of Breaking Bad.
This is the plot of the new Roadhouse, I believe.
Yeah.
The man just wants a holiday, but he's been dragged in to defend from some hoodlums.
But good dad skills, though.
Good dad skills. I like it, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, 6 hours the team hotel. Would you get a bed at the end of that?
Can I at least have a coffee, or is it a quick turnaround?
Is the intimation there that he drove from the Netherlands?
Well, I mean, basically,
it sounds like it, doesn't it?
His dad was quoted. His dad was quoted as saying that Ian's first plan was to come to the Netherlands, get his stuff, and then go to Germany. But he said, this is such great dad skills, because he says, that didn't seem like a good idea to me. His dad's just been like, you're not doing that. You do what I say. I'll meet you there. And his old man said, as a parent, you're very proud and you do everything you can to keep everything on track and to keep everything around him as stable as possible. So he decided to drive there for him.
Right.
It's great dad work. It's great dad work.
Wolfsburg.
Do you know what I reckon? Do you know what I reckon? He's got a new car at Ian Maatsen's dad.
Show it off.
Quite fancy the Autobahn. That'd be a big bit of dad
taking it up. How fast can you go on the Autobahn?
It's like fast you want, baby.
Is it
as fast as you want?
No speed limit.
Is it one of those things that they say, but most of the lengths will be like 90 or something mad like that?
The German government officially, I'm just looking at it now, officially recommends a maximum speed of 80 miles an hour.
I'll take it, 120 then.
But drivers are free to go as fast as they want.
Beautiful. Love a
Which is kind of free. I find, I don't want to be too stereotypical, not when the Germans are hosting what's so far been a great tournament, but it's kind of not on brand for Germany to not have a rule about that.
No, yeah, it's true, actually. I remember getting a taxi from Munich, and they're all Mercs, aren't they? They're taxis out there. And he was blasting it down the motor. I was like, I've never felt so scared.
But if someone said
at
to you...
5 a.m. on the way to a stag do.
So on the way to...
Even more scared on the way out.
If someone said to you, name a country where there's no speed limit, and you didn't know, you probably wouldn't say Germany.
Yeah, where would I say? North Korea, no cars.
Yeah. North Korea. Yeah, technically, I guess that's true because there's no cars. But yeah, there we go.
Well, let's get on to the matches that are taking place this afternoon and this evening. Spain versus Croatia today at 5. They are playing each other for the 4th consecutive Euros tournament. A little bit Belgium-Wales, isn't it? They cannot get enough of each other.
Yeah, what is it about that? Those certain games that get drawn together all the time.
We spend a lot of time playing your Marinos, don't we? And
Poland.
Macedonia? Do we
England, Poland, that was a regular one.
Yeah, that was a good one, yeah.
The last time these guys played, it was sensational.
Yes,
From the very first unfair own goal to Pedri, Unai Simon just didn't control the ball, to it was just relentless after that. Absolutely relentless.
Let's get this tournament up and running properly with a proper ding-dong, thank you. None of this Scotland falling over sort of stuff.
And people keep saying, and Croatia have got so much experience. I wish people would stop saying that.
Yeah,
because it's endless. And basically, what they're saying is Luka Modric is old.
Yeah,
isn't it? Like I know,
constantly reminded how old he is.
They've got experienced players. I get that, but like, really, it's just a by-phrase to say Luka Modric is 38. Just say that.
What are they going to say when he stops?
I don't remember to say anything. But I saw Josko.
Well, they said young and exciting, aren't they?
Josko Gvardiol was saying that he wasn't he saying he genuinely doesn't think that it could be Modric's last tournament.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Pepe 41, isn't he?
Pepe's 41. Yeah.
It's slightly different roles.
Yeah.
Well, basically Pepe's role is to kick the shit out of everyone.
Yeah, and you can do that as old. You can go on forever doing that.
You can do that just on the streets until you're very old.
After Ryan Porteous,
16-year-old winger Lamine Yamal has brought his homework with him to the tournament.
I mean, it's just absurd that.
Why didn't he write one of those letters like that Scottish dad who's probably feeling a little less chipper about that little letter he wrote to the school authority?
The Scottish dad is not yet awake.
Well, you don't know. You don't know. But like, I'm on a tour of Germany. It's very educational. So I didn't care for that.
This is Lamine Yamal, the Theo Walcott of this tournament. Remember Sven called up?
Oh yes.
A very young Theo
Walcott. Yamal is probably already a better player than Theo Walcott was.
You say that Theo Walcott didn't take his homework to South Africa.
Maybe he should have done. He might have had something to fall back on.
He had nothing else to do, did he?
Yeah, that's true.
When he was there. But it's well, I mean, I'm very excited to see Man of the Fountain managing Spain, as I said before. I'm very excited to see if this game lives up to the last time these two played each other. And really, not many people are talking about Spain. It doesn't seem to be a kind of team that are in the list of the fancied nations.
Are they just a bit too inexperienced, though? That's
Who knows?
the question.
They're not being named for the first time in a while. They're not really just being. I just don't really feel like they're being talked about.
Yeah, I suppose like form-wise, it hasn't been great. There've been a lot of things behind the scenes as well.
Perez and Hosselu have been brought into the side.
Yeah, there's
indicative of wider problems.
Do you find it remarkable that Jose Perez is going to be in the Spain squad?
Yeah, I think it is. The way that he dropped off form-wise, he needed indulgence. I think he needs indulgence in the side, but he might not play.
He became quite industrious, isn't he? It was almost like that he lent on that when I suppose the quality seemed to wane. Well, whenever his quality.
When he was at his worst, he had lots of hair gel on.
Yes, I do remember that,
when he sort of stopped wearing quite so much hair gel, he was better. I think.
Yeah,
heavy hair gel,
slippery.
I wonder with the Spain thing as well if it's also down to the fact that you can't really nail their brand of football. Whereas that used to be like a hallmark of, well, I suppose great sides anyway, but specifically that Spain side that cleaned up on.
Or is it just because they lost to Scotland?
Well, I mean, but that's part of it, isn't it?
They won their group though. They qualified
comfortably.
pretty well.
Yeah.
Was it a great group? Perhaps not really, but I just think they have got good players.
Yeah. Well, it's like if they had like people saying that they don't necessarily have a superstar. Well, Rodri's a superstar, really. Yeah. It's just that he plays in a quite unfancy position. Yeah. But they've actually got a really interesting squad. I mean, you think of someone like Jesus Navas, who's going to be 39 this year, and Lamine Yamal, and loads of different like generations of players.
Like Yoda and Luke, innit?
A little bit, yeah. Or the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda.
Oh, yeah. Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff.
Got anything else, nerds?
You got Comic-Cons?
Boffins.
Do you really? You go to Comic-Cons?
No.
Yeah. You do go to Comic-Cons.
I went to one convention once with my wife.
And dressed up all nice.
Did you dress up? What did you dress up as?
Burt Macklin.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
That is very sweet, actually. Yeah.
Piss or get out of the pocket.
Don't call us nerds again.
Get your put you in a bin. Tonight at 8, Italy start their campaign. The defending champions, of course. But again, do you think that no one's talking about them because they've been such a changeable side with not many goals in them?
Mourinho's hating on them.
Mourinho has been hating on them. He says that they're not a talented generation. Spalletti, the manager, obviously a very talented manager, and I think that's what everyone's kind of pinning Italy's hopes on, just having a really good manager. He did say that there are no dickheads in his Italy squad, and if you can't see the dickhead, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the dickhead.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday, but we didn't think about that.
No.
Don't they say that if everyone you meet's a dickhead, then you're probably the dickhead?
Oh, yeah, it's the two extremes of that. Yeah.
It's a bit Curb Your Enthusiasm, isn't it?
Yeah. but what I love about this, as I've said to you before, is that in every single tournament, there is going to be a big, fancied nation who have an absolute stinker in front of the world's eyes. And is it going to be Italy? We don't know. Is it going to be Spain? Is it going to be England? Hope not. Someone changes. Will absolutely fuck it.
A lot of big characters not in that dressing room anymore. It's going to be a big change.
Yeah, we shall see.
Less shithouseing,
And Albania are managed by Silvino.
Yeah.
And Pablo Zabaletta's involved.
It was quite an unpopular appointment at the time. I couldn't figure out whether he met the chairman of their FA over a random lunch, or they were supposed to have lunch and they wanted him. Because I didn't know if there's like a Mike Ashley, I've met Dennis Wise in a bar kind of situation, or have I wanted that person and had a meeting with them.
I know what you mean, yeah. I can see why you go after someone like Zabaleta, because he was like super popular at City. They called him the heart of City and stuff, didn't they? He really took to it at that project early on, and he was super popular. So in international football, I can see how that would work. But I think at some point in this group stage, a smaller nation is going to give a bigger nation a bloody nose.
Yeah.
If Jose was gossiping away to Sir Alex Ferguson last night, wasn't they, having a good old chinwag? Maybe he was saying that he thinks Albania are going to do the business tonight.
Well, he's certainly got a lot of long ranges.
Do they?
Yeah,
is that official?
Apparently so. And they've dipped into the South Korean league for one of their players as well. I like it when like managers who aren't like from that country, and they kind of start to sort of get a feeling for it, and they get creative about who they sort of bring in.
That's what a lot of managers of perhaps the more unfancied nations do. They basically say to a backroom staff member, "Find me a list of every player that's eligible."
Yeah,
and we'll go after the ones that we can get right. But going to the, I didn't know about the South Korean.
It's like he needed a left-footed left winger or something, and which seems quite obvious, but they just didn't have those options, so they found a lad who he played most of his football in Hungary, I think, and then he'd moved out to South Korea. But
yeah, well, but that's partly down to the fact that there's so many Albanians living outside of Albania, and so
there's a lot of players who play in Italy for Albania.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the relations between Italy and Albania are like quite famous and they're quite strong. But also, like if you think of someone like Armando Broja, someone who's essentially brought up in the UK, but has strong Albanian connections. And a lot of that is because there are so many Albanian communities across the world that they ended up with exactly that kind of database where they were like, right, let's see who we have, because it's not as simple as looking in your nearby or your own league.
And the connection to your country is so strong there because the language is so unique, isn't it?
Yeah,
The culture.
Which is why you see so many other players with Albanian heritage playing for other countries still have such a strong affinity for Albania. Yeah,
hugely. All right, then we are up and running. Luke, Vish, you looking forward to another day of football? This is where we hit our stripes.
We're gonna, when you get into the three in a row thing, I don't mind the one-off game to send it all off, but now this is when you can sit back and
it gets to about 7, you're like, I've got another one.
This is a meat and potatoes.
Yeah,
this is the meat and potatoes
good
now.
Stuff.
Great
Spain
stuff.
and Italy both playing in one day as well.
And alongside the phenomenon of a really big fancy team embarrassing themselves and going out in the group stage, the other great phenomenon about an international tournament is you never know which game's going to be an absolute barn burner.
Yeah.
Because you look at some of the fixtures, you go, okay, for example, I don't know, Serbia, Slovenia going to be any good? Well, it might be. It might be 5-4. You don't know because you can't predict it. And sometimes these games just go gangbusters, and they're not always cagey. So fingers crossed we get some good ones today. Romania, Ukraine could be an absolute belter. We could be talking about, as I said to you yesterday, we could be talking about Romania, Ukraine in 10 years' time as the greatest European Championships game ever.
The stats show we're averaging 6 goals a game.
That is true.
Thanks, Scotland.
And that could go up today. Is that what you're saying?
You're welcome, the world, says the Scottish. Oh, well, thanks for listening to the Football Ramble, part of the Acast Creator Network. I'll be back tomorrow alongside Steamboat Jim and Randy Andy. Follow us on X. He will be excited, Andy, won't he?
Oh, yeah.
It's a feast of football.
He's in his natural environment.
Wait for Turkey to turn up.
Yeah, this is like whenever you listen to Andy now. Normally, you're listening to him in a zoo. Really, this is where he's out on the savannah. This is his natural environment. You want to know how Andy actually behaves?
Yeah.
Get him in a European Championship.
He's in a ghillie suit with a big gun.
Oh,
Just picking people.
It's a football
off.
gun.
Love it. Football gun.
Yeah, football gun. Yeah.
Have you seen the drone gun they're using to stop drones? It's like this big kind of like t-shirt cannon looking thing, like proper Gunnosaurus-sized t-shirt cannon.
Fires a laser?
No, it fires some kind of thing that obfuscates the signals, the Wi-Fi or RF, so it just lands carefully.
How much do you want one
I
of
wanted
them?
a big net.
Yeah.
I wanted a big net, Luke.
A big net would be great.
I wanted to fire big dirty nappies at the drones.
But what I love about that gun you're talking about there, so that when it's activated, the drone just slowly lands.
Yeah, but it follows it down.
So it's like the gun. So it's like the gun saying, "Look, just calm down."
Calm down.
So he controls it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'd call it?
So.
Drone dad. Calm down.
Calm down. Yeah.
Sit down there, and then once they're on the ground, stamp on them.
Because they're quite like they're quite arrogant, aren't they, drones?
Yeah.
They're just always like
Yeah,
they're
look
like
at me.
trees.
Look at me.
What happened to the Gatwick drone? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It was a hoax in the end.
Was it?
It was not a hoax.
Apparently, it didn't exist.
What?
Yeah.
Our brave airplane pilots were seeing drones in the sky that didn't exist.
No, I think it was phoned in, wasn't it?
Oh,
I think it was
I've seen a
phoned
drone.
in. Yeah.
I'm phoning
That's
a drone.
disappointing.
I'm freestyling here because I did not expect to have to answer questions on that
Well,
today.
you should. Well, you bloody should when
pretty
I'm
sure
in the
it was
chair.
on.
Yeah.
So there we go. Follow us on X, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram at Football Ramble, and follow us on Spotify. Vish, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Luke, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah, there's a goodbye from me. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers for watching another fantastic clip from the Football Ramble podcast. Make sure you click like on this video and subscribe to the channel, which means you will not miss a single upload.